Hello and welcome to Simply Race for the second round of the Simply Race British Championships. Today we're going to be using the 2-mile national circuit at Donington Park. Alongside me, Anthony Jordan, to help me today.
Hello.
And the interesting fact today is that currently the weather is very wet indeed at Donington Park. So it looks like we're going to get a very wet race certainly for the first Clio race and probably the second.
Yeah, definitely. I say the track conditions for this one, so slippery. You see the drivers going into some of the corners. The understeer is unbelievable. You see them putting so much lock on the steering wheel and they're just not getting anything. But times, nonetheless, came in and they were pretty quick times. Your pole time for race one, Chris Wilson. He's actually, I haven't got any data for him in the championship, so I think it's his first round on this one.
Yeah, he did do the first round, but only the touring cars. He didn't do the Clios.
So he did the touring cars. But yeah, 1:19.191 from Chris Wilson, race one. Luke Bennett second. He's third in the championship, so it's looking promising for himself. Chris Kelly in third. He's seventh in the championship, 19 points. There's like 3 drivers with 19 points in the championship. So
yeah, so it's incredibly tight, and we're starting to see the order emerging probably through these next couple of races. And Luke Bennett definitely has been going very well, a new driver to the championship. And John Curry, of course, a sort of experienced Simply Race regular, also going very well.
Yeah, exactly. And like I say, other drivers, main person who I feel struggling, Ben Brown. He's qualified 8th for race one, but he's leading the championship. Dominated at Brands Indy, but really struggling with the wet conditions on this one. So it'll be interesting to see where he gets to. Yeah,
I think it's going to be interesting for all the drivers. It's the first wet race they've done in these cars. And as you say, Ben Brown, so dominant in the dry, but it's a completely different ball game around this 2-mile circuit in the wet. So we're just about to go for the first race. Drivers are just having a
little pre-race brief behind us. You can see them on your little screen there, and a good little giggle with race director Grant Lyman. But as I say, yeah, they should be getting going very shortly into race number one. He's just finalising that. But again, a couple of new drivers to the championship on this one. Got 2 new ones. Derek Rudenberg. Great name, love it. That's going to be interesting to commentate on.
Hope he goes well.
Hope he goes well. He's qualified 10th overall, 1:20.533, and our only female driver in the grid, 14th place, Serena Straker. She's qualified in 14th, but 1:23.699. But again, new to sim racing, but absolutely cracking effort from her out there as well.
Yep. So we're looking forward to a really competitive and a very exciting race. So race one should be coming very shortly. So here we are, drivers are lining up on the grid for race one today. So we've got the grid order. Chris Wilson is starting from pole position with a quick lap 1:19.1. Second will be Luke Bennett. Third, Christian Kelly. Fourth, John Curry. Fifth, Edward Sibbald. And those 3 drivers, all set times, all did 1:19.4. They were covered by just 700ths of a second. Colin Talbot will start 6th. Sean King is 7th. Ben Brown, our championship leader, who won both races at Brands Hatch, is only 8th, so we'll see if he can make his way through. Michael Boulding is 9th. New Drivers' Championship, Derek Rudenberg starts 10th. Rob Soughton is 11th. Andy Malpas 12th. John Walker in 13th. And Serena Straker in 14th place. So, as you can see, conditions at the moment very wet.
Yeah, look at all the spray that you've got there that's being built up from the cars on their formation lap now on their way to the grid. And let's say such a close grid as well. You see so many cars in the 119s. It's going to be cracking going into turn one. I'm very much looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, as I said, those three drivers in all covered by 700ths, and then you've only got less than a second between first and eighth.
Right.
So it should be an incredibly close race, and in these conditions, it's going to be very interesting to see who can keep it clean, stay out of trouble, I think will be the key for this first couple of laps.
Yeah, definitely. I think in these tricky conditions, of course, drivers are going to go into turn one. They're going to forget, well, hopefully not, they'll probably forget how understeery it is. They're going to brake where they need to brake. And, of course, the one thing that's going to be concerning me is going into this chicane that they're coming into now. When they're going into it, drivers going down the inside for a late lunge. Of course, They're just going to go straight on, I feel. So, yeah, it's going to be to finish first. First, you're going to have to finish in this one, I think. So, nice, clean race.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting. You've got, as you said, the chicane, which is going to be a place where drivers are going to try and pass. And also, on the first lap, I think down Craner curves into the old hairpin. It's a tricky bit of track, particularly when it's wet and cold tyres. And it's going to be interesting to see if everyone can get through there cleanly.
Yeah, of course. So that's Colin Talbot we're currently looking at there. Just behind him as well is the other Cam Sport car. That is, of course, Sean King, I believe, is it?
Yeah, Sean King,
Sean
in
King.
the Cam Sport ice livery, so the sort of white and blue, and Colin in the more sort of orange, red and white Cam Sport.
There we go. But we're on the grid. Looks like we're ready to go, Chris.
So, here we are. The revs will be rising, the lights will be coming on for the drivers, and when they go out, we will be racing for the first race of today. And they're away, and it looks like a fairly even start. Good start by John Curry from the second row there. And there's the Cam Sport cars running 6th and 7th, I think, at the moment, into Redgate for the first time.
Yeah, nice clean start so far. So we're still yet to go round turn one altogether. A couple of cars bumping side by side there, but it looks like everyone's got round. But this is going to be the tricky part.
Yes, pretty clean start through the first corner. We've got no one off at the moment, but yeah, down Craner curves here for the first time. Very, very wide. That's Sean King on the grass. Now he might collect someone at the old hairpin here.
Yeah, this is risky because, of course, you can completely outbrake yourself, and it looks like he's managed to get away without hitting anyone. So really lucky there from Sean King.
I think he did quite well there to actually hold that because he was probably completely out of control on the wet grass.
Yeah, it's not a place you want to be. But we're side by side going up into... I think this is McLean's that we've got here, but really side by side through, and they've all managed to get round again. Yeah,
McLean's coming out of McLean's now up into Coppice. So we've got Chris Wilson, our pole sitter, has maintained his advantage and he's in the lead. John Curry's made a great start from the second row, and he's up into second place. You can see on the tower on the left-hand side there, it shows who's up, who's down, and who's stayed where they are. So Chris Wilson will be pretty happy with his most of this first lap so far.
Yeah, Wilson, really good start from him. Bit of action further behind. Looks like Talbot's trying to make a move there on Bennett into the chicane, but managed to stay behind. But yeah, great start from John Curry, up 2 positions. Same with Sibbald there, up into 3rd position now. As you can see, the top 3 sort of breaking away from the main pack.
A little bit, yeah. And for anyone who watched the first round, you'll notice that Luke Bennett has changed his livery. Last time out, he was in the bright pink car, but he now has that quite distinctive black and yellow livery, and he's running there in 6th place.
Yeah, of course. So already some comments on the stream. Yes, it is wet. It's very slippery out there. Of course, plenty of understeer drivers are running the wet compound tyres, of course. I did try to do this in slick tyres. It was nigh on impossible. So, yeah, the drivers are on their wets. But, yeah, you can definitely see that top 3 there breaking away, and it looks like Curry on Wilson.
Yeah, so Curry is right up behind Wilson. Of course, the qualifying sessions were wet as well, so the drivers had some experience today and driving the circuit in these conditions. But now we've got Curry going for a look up the inside. Wilson's a bit wide, coming out of McLean's, and straight through, clean move by Curry there into the lead. And now Wilson's got to defend from Sibbald.
Yeah, so Wilson really struggled there through Coppice and up into, or McLean's up into Coppice. So, yeah, really, really struggling there is Chris Wilson.
Yeah, just missed the apex a bit, and I think we've got really quite a good standard of driving in this championship we've seen so far this year, so little mistakes like that are going to be punished. But he looks like he's regrouped a bit, Chris, so he's holding his own in second place, and he'll just try and get back onto the tail of John Curry as quick as he can. Yeah,
so he's just managed to sort it out. Here's a replay of what's actually happened. So coming up into McLean's there, so you just see he breaks for it. Curry's got a much tighter, much nicer line there, and just manages to squeeze past. So yeah, it's a big shame there for Wilson, but say he's held second place.
Yeah, I think you saw there quite graphically how you can brake and slide across the track in these wet conditions. And I think Chris was on the brakes there, and as he was just carrying a bit too much speed, the car just slid across to the outside and opened the door for Curry to pass.
Yeah, a bit of action further behind there. You can just see 3 of the cars almost side by side going down Craners as they're going through. Again, it's still your race leaders. They're still so close.
Yeah, so
there's more action. Wilson's gone wide, and who's that in front? Is that Curry gone in front, and Kelly's in front?
So Christian Kelly, has got past Sybil and Chris Wilson there. So a great opportunistic move up into second place, and he's actually already got a bit of a gap. So Chris Wilson is struggling a little bit, it seems.
Yeah, so Wilson's gone backwards. Again, here's a replay of the chicane. That's 2 of the drivers going straight on.
Sean King
chicane.
In the Cam Sport Ice car.
Yeah, and it looks like that was Serena Strakers there as well. And I'm not sure who's in the red liveried car there. Is that Sorton? It could be Walker. It's Derek. Yeah, there we go. So, no, all managing to get through. Lots of contact, but yeah, good old stuff from them.
So that's Luke Bennett is on the grass coming out of the chicane, and he's defending quite hard from. He's got Ben Brown, our championship leader, who is trying to cut through the field, and he's having a look into Redgate, but I don't think he's close enough. So that's Bennett in the black and yellow, and then just in front of him, Michael Boulding in the sort of purple-black car, and then Colin Talbot in the Cam Sport Fire car at the head of this little group.
Colin Talbot with a bad exit out the first corner, and now he's got 2 cars side by side with him, and there's contact with Michael Boulding. It was an ambitious move, especially down Craner curves in wet conditions as well.
I'm pretty sure that is not a passing place on this circuit down Craner curves, so yeah, extremely ambitious from Michael Boulding there. And he actually did well not to lose the car completely, and he's at least still in the race, although he's got Ben Brown alongside him. A little bit of contact there almost.
Yeah, it looks like Michael Boulding just not keeping an eye on those mirrors. Here's a replay again, going down into the corner. So Michael Boulding's on the inside. Colin Talbot turns in. I don't think he saw that Boulding was there, but, you know, it's such a compromising place to put your car, especially on such a fast part of the circuit. Yeah,
definitely. I think Colin was a bit slow down Craner curves, and Boulding thought, I can get through here, but I agree. I think Talbot probably didn't see him. I didn't expect him to be there.
Well, yeah, of course. We are back live now. We're still looking at Michael Boulding there. He's down in 7th position at the moment. He has gained 2 positions from his qualifying position, so he is still up on his things there, but still flying through. So after a couple of laps, your current order, Curry still leading. 3 positions he's gained from that one. Wilson in 2nd place, Sybil in 3rd, Kelly in 4th, Talbot 5th, Bennett in 6th place, Boulding in 7th, Brown in 8th, Rudenberg in 9th, Malpass in 10th, King in 11th, Straker in 12th position, Walker in 13th, and Sorton in 14th. That is the order as it stands at the moment. The track's currently clear at the moment. No yellows, touch wood, but everyone's still flying around.
Yeah, so I think Rudenberg's going well, considering he's making his debut in the series. To be 9th in what is quite a competitive championship is a pretty good debut.
Exactly that. And say, looking at the times as well, he's setting personal best lap times every single lap. Best sector 2 and 3, he's actually gone to Kelly in 4th position, and he is your fastest person on circuit at the moment, 1:23.480.
Rudenberg's actually just moved up into 8th. He's just got past Ben Brown, so something's happened back there. Currently, we're looking at Colin Talbot there with Luke Bennett very close behind him, and a little bit of a gap back to Michael Boulding. And then we've got that is Rudenberg in the bright green car. You can just see him in the background there. So he's absolutely flying at the moment.
Yeah, so good stuff. Here's an onboard shot that we've got.
So this is on board with Ben Brown, looking at Rudenberg in front of us.
There we go. So you can just see the spray there. You can't see anything going into the braking zones. It's really difficult to spot where it is. And there you go, Ben Brown missing the braking zone, missing the first apex, managing to collect the second one though.
Yeah, he did well. That very tricky there. And we've got Luke Bennett is on the outside here of Colin Talbot, trying to get possibly on the outside of Redgate. I don't think he's going to do that, but he might try and cut back underneath.
I say, yeah, the cutback here is a very popular move, especially at turn 1. And it looks like he's got it done. He's got it down the inside now. Talbot will definitely see that he's there, and it looks like Bennett's made that position now. Good move from Bennett.
Yeah, lovely clean move there, and Colin had no choice but to cede the position. So Boulding is still there just behind these two, sort of lurking. Talbot is on the grass coming out of the old hairpin, and he's lost momentum, and Boulding looks like he'll be able to pass around the outside through Schwantz curve, and he has.
Again, yeah, it is so easy to lose momentum through that corner. It's such a fast one is the old hairpin that these guys, again, you can really struggle. And in these wet conditions as well, it's very, very easy to make a mistake.
So Bennett's there in the black and yellow, Boulding, then Talbot, and then Rudenberg in the green is gaining on this little group. So it's a tremendous drive so far by Rudenberg.
Yeah, it really is. So absolutely flying through. Here's a replay again that we've got. Now this looks like Talbot's mistake through the old hairpin. So he goes in. You can see he was looking down the inside of Bennett there into the hairpin, and you just see he's run down wide. He didn't have the correct racing line. It was, yeah, definitely a mistake there from Talbot.
Yep, so he'll be looking to regroup. He's still there, still in the race. And the fastest lap we've got from John Curry. He's just done a 1:23.3. So I think maybe is the track drying sort of line appearing. It looks like it's not actually raining anymore to me, but still a lot of spray.
I think it is still raining. But, yeah, it's so you can see a dry line appearing, but you can see the spray that's gone on there. Drivers won't really want to pit to change tyres, I wouldn't have thought. They'd lose too much time. I think it's around 23 odd seconds to change tyres. But whether or not that would give you an advantage throughout, but you can see the spray. I don't think it's going to be worth it. Yeah,
I think we've only got a 17-lap race, so everyone's going to be trying to get these tyres to the finish if they possibly can. But, yeah, we'll keep an eye on lap times and just see if they continue to improve or sort of level off.
Deprove, yeah. So, but again, sector times coming in. So just purple sectors constantly. Got a replay here.
So this looks like Sibbald, who's just behind Chris Wilson. So Chris Wilson in the blue, and Sibbald's looking at the inside into Redgate. He's outbraked Wilson, and it looks like a clean move at the inside. Wilson sort of left the door open for him. And
good
that's,
move.
yeah, nice clean move by Sibbald. So he's now up into second place. So he's now on the hunt. Can he hunt down John Curry, who's led this race from pretty much sort of lap 2?
Oh, there we go. But a little mistake there from Sibbald. Wilson retakes the position out the final chicane as they go through, makes the moves complete. But again, into the braking zone. Sibbald looking down the inside, doesn't think about it, moves back into position, stays behind. So good recovery drive from Wilson there. But he has run wide out the corner.
I think Wilson did well there. He knew that Sibbald might try the move he pulled last lap into Redgate. And that time he just took a tighter line, made sure he didn't leave the door open for him to get up the inside.
Yeah, no, exactly. So good defensive driving there from Wilson, holding on to second position. That gap further up, I think, it's opened up quite a bit now between Curry and Wilson.
Yeah, so Curry looks like he's really got a nice sort of cushion now. So I guess he'll just be trying to look after his tyres, not make any mistakes, be consistent. And whilst these group are scrapping behind him, that's perfect for John Curry.
Yeah, of course. So he's just going to be pulling away a lead, and yeah, that's what they do. These guys really should be working with each other to try and gain back up to it. But looking at the lap times, they are nearly half a second off. There's the gap you can see there. So big old gap that he's got there, has Curry. Yeah,
so we've got this second group, Wilson, Sibbald and Kelly, and then a bit of a gap back to the sort of third group, if you like, of Bennett, Boulding, Talbot and Rudenberg.
Yeah, so separate packs coming in all around the circuit. So these guys still holding in close, and there's another static camera there looking further back. That was just before the final chicane. But these guys still so close as they're going around, and you can see the different racing lines. Wilson runs wide, really bad line there, and just gifts the position to Sibbald there.
I think he was definitely in damage limitation there. He went in really hot into Redgate, and he was going to run a long way off the circuit, I think, and he was just trying to stay on the track. He just wasn't worried about losing the position at that point. Just stay on the track, stay in the group, and see if he can get that back later on.
Yeah, I can only imagine what he was doing with the brake pedal there. It was fully planted and trying to just stop the car. It definitely looked like a mistake too late on the brakes.
Yeah, and we've seen that a few times in this race from Wilson. He seems to be struggling a little bit on the brakes and with understeer, and just he seems to not have found his total rhythm yet, I would say.
No, I'd say that. And, of course, tyre wear is on this. So even though it's wet and you can see a dry line forming, they are on the wet tyres. But that's it. Here's the replay. You just see that he's miles away from the apex. Look at the understeer that he's got there. So much lock.
It's a great shot. You can really see so you can see how he's struggling to stay on the racing line, and he's just allowing that gap for Sibbald to get through.
That's a cracking shot. And you can see the spray there. You could barely see anything through the spray. And, of course, that's what the drivers can see. They can barely see anything through it. So, no, cracking shot there.
And, yeah, here's Luke Bennett with Boulding behind him in this slow-motion shot. Nice line from Bennett there. You see Boulding running very wide. Look at the understeer.
Look at the lock he's got there. New fastest lap from Bennett, 1:23.124. So Bennett is still flying out there. He's in fifth position at the moment, but fastest man on the circuit. And, of course, he's the first of that pack. further behind these guys, so he's got clear track in front of him. So he's probably going to be catching on to these guys very shortly.
Yeah, if they keep battling this group of 3, then Bennett could well bridge that gap. That's what he'll be trying to do. We're on lap 10 of 17, so he hasn't got many laps to do it, but he's definitely pushing hard, and he's running a really good pace at the moment at the 1:23.1.
Yeah.
Fastest lap of the race. So here we're looking at Sibbald, who's in second place. He's a bit wide coming out of McLean's, slightly off over the runoff. So I think all the drivers are starting to struggle with tyre wear a bit now, it seems.
Yeah, so of course with the track drying out and of course temperatures going up, you'll probably see some of these drivers now go off the actual main racing line onto the wet stuff to try and cool their tyres down. They say that, most of them staying on the racing line, so I guess it's not that dry then out there. I mean, we can see a dry line on our screen, but you just saw there at the corner of your eye, it's still raining out there, so yeah, these guys really, I suspect, they're probably doing okay, I would say.
You'll see in the corner of the stream we've got an onboard shot from Luke Bennett's car, and you can see from his perspective it doesn't really look like there's a dry line. So for the drivers it looks a bit different to how it does for us, I think.
Yeah, probably, and of course they'll see rain on their screen as well, so it is probably still raining for them. But these guys going around. Now that looked like Wilson that time, had a great exit out of Redgate, and now he's going down into Craners. He's right on the back of Sibbald now as they're going down through Craners into Old Hairpin.
Yeah, so coming down to the Old Hairpin, he probably isn't going to try and pass here, but he'll try and look to get a real good exit from the Old Hairpin and then through the fast left-hander of Schwantz Curve up into McLean's might be a place he can try and make a move.
Well, yeah, say he got a good exit out of there. It looks like he's a bit too far behind to make a move down the inside here. Thinks against it. Now, again, he looks like he's lining himself up for the chicane. So, but these guys still flying through.
Yeah,
so close.
Sibbald's going defensive, you can see, into Coppice. He's definitely covering that inside. He knows that Chris Wilson is there and is lurking, and he's almost got alongside Wilson coming out of Coppice.
There we go, yeah, much better exit from Wilson there. He's alongside Sibbald, so Wilson has got the inside line, but he is on the fully wet line now. He is going to struggle to stop this car under braking. He's going into, again, it's going to be a replay of what happened in SRBC last year. But Wilson managing to not get that position. He managed to hold on and hold that first apex, but just
great
didn't have
driving.
the momentum.
Great driving by both drivers, but it's cost Chris Wilson a place because he's lost a place to Kelly coming out because of the loss of momentum through the chicane and out onto the start-finish straight.
Yeah, Kelly managing to get past. So that just shows how going for a move for second can cost you position. So yeah, just lost all momentum trying to slow the car down and turning too tight. So yeah, massive disappointment for Wilson there.
Yeah, this is such a competitive championship that if you lose a bit of momentum, we're going to see a replay here of exactly what happened from on board with Christian Kelly. So here we got Wilson on the right there and Sibbald on the left, and Wilson tries to go up the inside. He takes quite a lot of curb, but he does leave space. But you see how he gets not such a good exit, not such a good line coming out. Kelly gets a much better exit, and he's able to simply just drive past on the start-finish straight into that third place.
Yeah, it's a good replay there. It just shows you how much time you can gain as well, because Kelly was so far back. And, of course, just through that momentum, he's managed to do that. Now, Kelly reinventing track limits there with the apex of Coppice there as we're on the back straight. Now, Wilson again behind. He's looking to retake this position that he's just lost. Again, if he tries the same move that he did on Sibbald, is he going to lose another position to Bennett, who is on the back of this pack now?
Luke Bennett has come across that gap. He's pulled away quite a lot from Colin Talbot in sixth, and he has basically joined this group now.
He is now. This is a group of 4 for second position. This is incredibly close as we cross the line. We're on lap 13 now of 17 into turn 1, and there's Kelly with a bold move down the inside of Sibbald. Thinks against it though, slots back into position. Yeah,
that was extremely ambitious at one point, but I think he was almost maybe just moving around in the mirrors to just let Sibbald know he was there.
Yeah, potentially so. It looked like he was going to go for a dive because it was a very late move out the slipstream, and it just looked like it was going to send it down the inside. Thinks against it. That's Bennett and Wilson side by side down Craners. No collisions there.
What a fantastic move by Bennett that was, round the outside of Craner curves in the wet. It's a bit like Senna in '93.
Well, yeah, exactly, and manages to hold that inside line, slows the car down enough to get it round the old hairpin and up the hill. So Chris Wilson just going down the order. Here's a replay again of it. Talk us through it, Mark.
Well, yeah, so Bennett here behind Wilson, he gets a really good exit from Redgate, and then they're heading down to the Craner curves. He gets alongside Wilson, but he's on the outside for the left-hander here, on the wet side of the track, but he just manages to hold his momentum and hold the line, and then beautifully up the inside into the old hairpin. So, yeah, what a fantastic piece of car control and driving that was by Luke Bennett, although he's now lost the position again. Chris Wilson's got him back.
After that fantastic move, he's lost it again. Not sure where that happened, but again, it was great driving there. I think this is how it happened. Oh, look at that. Bit of a mistake, run out wide. So excited that he got past wicked move, and then, yeah, lost it again. It happens.
He'll be frustrated because that was such a great move. Whilst we were watching it, he's lost the position, and Wilson is being determined. He's not going away.
Blimey, this has all happened here. Now Kelly's got in front of Sibbald. So Kelly's in front now in second position behind Curry. So Curry's still leading, but these guys so close as they go down Craners. Oh, God, be careful, lads. This is 14 laps in.
It's really bunching up more and more. So Kelly, Sibbald, Wilson and Bennett all absolutely together as they go down to the old hairpin for the 14th time.
Yeah, so close from them as they all go through. Kelly's made a mistake. He's gone onto the grass. That's going to really struggle his momentum up the hill now. These guys behind, they're all going to close up. Bennett's looking down the inside here. Then he's going to be on the wrong racing line up into Copies. So, or the McLean's, I should say. But he's done a dive, has Bennett, and he's got two. Is that two positions in one corner? It is. Is he going to go for three as well? Oh, no, Wilson's gone down the inside as well. But then it's Bennett down the inside into Copies now, and he has. Bennett with three positions, and the guys contact behind Wilson and Sibbald. Wilson goes round. Absolute carnage.
Well, it was chaos. I mean, they were all absolutely together. Sibbald had gone from sort of the front of the group to the back of the group, and then there just seemed to be a bit of contact between Sibbald and Wilson going through Copies' corner. We'll see if we can get a replay of that as soon as possible. But Bennett, amazingly, has got through this whole group and is now running in second place.
What a move from Bennett. 3 cars.
Fantastic.
In 2 corners. Absolutely amazing.
And I think that really disrupted the whole group. He just arrived from nowhere, really, and then he was suddenly just passing cars left, right and centre. Here's a replay then. So Bennett up the inside of Wilson and up the inside of Sibbald in one beautiful move, perfectly clean. Wilson gets alongside Sibbald as they head up to Copies, and here Bennett's up the inside of Kelly into Copies. So three cars he passed in 2 corners.
Yeah, so this is the action further behind. So it looks like Sibbald actually turns in on Wilson there before the corner. Now, I don't know if that was Wilson just not turning, but again, it just looked like Sibbald there made contact with the rear of Wilson's car, spinning him round. So
it'd be interesting to see it maybe from Sibbald's point of view, whether he has to turn into the corner at some point, but
of course.
Wilson was there.
But of course, you can't turn in if there's a car there. If there's a car there, you can't turn. It's but I think hit him off the track. So.
Fantastically exciting period of the race, and it was all going off, and there was always something going to happen.
Well, yeah, of course. And now, do you reckon Bennett's going to have enough time to catch Curry?
Well, it'd be interesting to see. We've only got... Now, you've got to watch these lap counters because it says lap 15 and 17, but I think you'll find there isn't a lap 17.
Okay. So, yeah, we're probably on final lap now, aren't we? Yeah, so... I don't think he's going to have enough time for it. I mean, he has set a new fastest time of the race, is Bennett, 1:23.124.
Here we have Rudenberg, who's getting past Colin Talbot as they go down towards the Craner curves.
It's a good move, and I think, he's made it done there. Good replay there, about turn 1, but then a bit of a mistake from Rudenberg, and he's gone straight off, and that position he's gained, he's lost straight away. So that just shows you how slippy it is out there. Yeah,
just a real shame there. Just a little bit too much speed. He just got onto the grass, and getting onto the grass at that point in the circuit, you're definitely going to have a lot of trouble recovering from that. So here's John Curry then, our race leader. He's led from pretty much, lap 2 or 3?
I would say something like that, yeah. After qualifying in 4th position. 4th in the championship, but absolutely flying through, and his times have just been so consistent. He's had a clear track, he's had a cracking race. But
and you can see the graphic we've got on the screen there showing his best lap of the race, his last lap, and you've also got the engine revs, his gear, and his throttle and brake position. So some real interesting new graphics we've got for this round. But here comes Curry now through the chicane for the final time. He exits the chicane to win the first race of the day here in the Clio Cup. In the end, a pretty dominant win, a very good performance. Or have we got one lap to go? We have. So now we've changed it so that this round we do have a lap 17. Okay, that caught me out last time because last time we only had.
It's caught you out again
lap.
this time.
And now it's the way it should be. So you can see you've got the graphic on the screen there showing engine revs. Yeah, and we should just watch Curry through down the Craner curves into the old hairpin for the final time. At the end of this lap, will be the end of the race. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. You can just see Bennett in the background there. And in the corner of your screen, we've got Chris Wilson, who's running in 4th place at the moment.
He's got back in front of Boulding. You saw there at the replay, Boulding did manage to get past after that collision with Sibbald. But, yeah, he's managed to get back. Sibbald's actually gone down into 7th position.
Yeah, so a real sort of bad end to the race, really, for Sibbald.
Yeah, so close contact all the way through. But, of course, these guys have managed to do it.
So we've just heard that Sibbald has had a drive-through penalty for contact with Wilson, the replay that we saw earlier where they made contact at Coppice.
That's probably why he's down in 6th place at the moment. But yeah.
So here comes John Curry then. This is the last lap, and he exits the chicane for his first win of the season. And a really good performance from John Curry. Excellent. He wins here at Donington Park. 2nd place, Luke Bennett, after a superb drive. He fell behind at the start of the race, but a superb comeback drive to actually finish where he qualified in 2nd place. And Christian Kelly, excellent finish in 3rd place, crosses the line. So, fantastically exciting race, first race of the day.
Yeah, of course, Bennett started the race in 2nd, fell back quite a few positions, but of course managed to call it back. There's Wilson coming back in 4th place and Boulding in 5th, really close behind. But again, just shows how quickly it can go wrong for these guys in these conditions. Of course, they were absolutely flying through. But again, my driver of the race for that one, 100% has to go to Luke Bennett.
Absolutely, yeah.
In that one, that fantastic move through McLean's. 2 cars in one corner, and then the 3rd.
Yeah, definitely the standout moment of the race.
Yeah.
And considering he had a little bit of a bad start, his first few laps weren't great, got bumped around a bit, and for him to come back in such a way and come across that big gap, of course, he had to get into that group, and then just to pass the whole group and finish 2nd was excellent. So, yeah, definitely he's one to watch out for.
Really good. Again, further down, you've got Rudenberg finishing in 7th position, King in 8th, Malpass in 9th, Talbot in 10th, Brown in 11th, Straker in 12th place, Walker in 13th, and then Sorton in 14th position there. So a couple of people didn't realise they were on the camera there. Moving
we got them, didn't we? Yeah.
Be like, oh, I'm on camera. I'm going to move out the way. But yeah, cracking race 1. Yeah, no, brilliant. Lots of action all the way through the field, and of course that was really exciting. Coming to the last part of the race there.
Yeah, and I think most of the moves that we saw were really clean. We just had that one incident between Sibbald and Wilson, which nothing outrageous. I think it was just one of those incidents where a driver finds himself in a place he doesn't want to be, really. But we will take a short break now, and we will be back shortly for race 2 of the Clio Championship. I've got our race winner from race 1, John Curry, with me in the commentary box, just to be able to chat with him, see what he thought of that result. So, John, after the first couple of laps, when you got in the lead, you seemed fairly comfortable out there.
Yes. The start was very good. I was able to get to the inside for the first corner because I know that the Clios do understeer massively in the wet, so I wanted to get to the inside, and then I think I was second on the exit of Redgate, and then I was chasing Wilson for the first lap, and I was trying very hard to ensure that in the wet you've just got to be very slow on entry and then really just try to know your exits.
Yeah, very controlled.
On the sort of second lap, I had a big run coming out of the old hairpin, and I had to really get out the throttle because I had such a good run. I had no space, and I think then Chris outbraked himself into the next corner and into McLean's, and then I got ahead, and I was hoping, because I knew that some of the guys behind were looking quite fast in qualifying, I knew that I was hoping he would sort of hold them up, and I was just sort of trying to just drive with myself really in the wet.
Yeah.
It's all about trying to be as just roll into the corners and just focus on ensuring you get the exits.
Yes. So once you got in the lead, there was the group behind you were battling quite hard. So I think that probably helped you just to stay in front, build that little bit of a gap, in which you seem to maintain that cushion, and the tyres. You seem to cope with the tyre wear quite well.
Yeah, absolutely. The tyres, I was down to 30% by the end, and I was just really trying to look at the gap and try to ensure that I wasn't going too hard too soon, to ensure that I still had some tyre life left if anybody emerged from the pack to sort of challenge me. I mean, certainly in the wet, one thing I sort of learned, I was at Donington in '98 for the famous Mansell race in the wet. And I remember watching on the bank on the inside of the old hairpin, and the thing that was most striking watching them go over to McLean's is in the wet, Mansell was not actually braking for McLean's, he was just sort of coasting in and taking a wide line, and I sort of tried that technique, and it seemed to work.
Tried to imitate a bit of Nigel, yeah.
Indeed.
Channeled you in a Nigel. That's
Indeed.
Good.
Indeed.
So you're feeling confident for the next one?
Well, it's the same grid position. It's going to be the same deal, really. I've just got to try to get a good start, and if I can get good track position at the start, it should be okay, because it's quite difficult, I think, to overtake, certainly to be able to do a conventional sort of outbraking manoeuvre. I think it's you're being quite brave there, because it does tend to just look up and understeer, and you've just got to
absolutely
got to be careful on that one. So I think it'll just be the same deal with whoever I'm behind. You've just got to sort of try to focus on seeing you can get them on the exits and now drag them down the straight, which is less risky, and failing that, just sort of try to force a mistake. So, yep, good start to the day this time. So,
excellent start. Best of luck for the next race, and maybe we'll be interviewing you again later on.
Hope so.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Thanks, man.
So I think we're going to try and find our second place driver. The driver that both me and Anthony felt was driver of the race, Luke Bennett, who finished in second place after a great drive through the pack, catching that sort of group battle for second, and then at one point you passed 3 cars in 2 corners, we noticed. So tell us about it. How was it for you?
Well, completely lost it the first corner, went straight out wide, and went down to 7th, getting tapped a bit, and then managed to make my way down to 5th, and I had quite a big gap between 6th and 4th. So then I was just properly pushing, trying to get to 4th. And
so that group that you caught, they were sort of battling a lot amongst themselves, and at one point you did have quite a lot of ground to make up, but once you caught them, you seemed to have a lot more pace than they did.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, but in the middle of the race, tyres seemed absolutely horrible, but then at the end of the race, I seemed really, really good, the tyres were.
Yeah, I guess you sort of think half of the race you feel like your tyres don't feel very good, but you don't know what everyone else's tyres feel like, and actually towards the end maybe you felt like you had a little bit more tyre left than the guys around you.
Yeah.
So tell us, you managed to pass 2 cars through McLean's, and then you passed Kelly, I think, up into Coppice.
Yeah.
Beautiful clean move for both times. So did you pre-plan that, or was it just a kind of spur of the moment, there's a gap, I'm going to go for it?
Well, I thought, they're holding me up because I seem to have more race pace than them, so I thought I'll just late brake and try and go past 4th. But it seemed I was going past 3rd as well, so I thought I'll have him as well. And then I had the inside line into Coppice, so decided to take him on the inside, and it was a clean move.
Yeah, it was a brilliant move. So I believe for the second race of the day, you're going to be starting 3rd on the grid? Is that right?
Yes, I'm in the inside line, so I shouldn't really go out wide.
So I guess the main thing will be to try and get a better start than you did in this race, and just get a good start, get into the race, and see if you can maintain that level of pace. You could be fighting for the win.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, best of luck, Luke, and
Thank you.
hopefully we'll see you again perhaps for another chat after the race too. So now we've got our 3rd place driver, Christian Kelly, joining us. So it was a hell of a race, Christian. Very exciting. A real battle between sort of you and Chris Wilson and Sibbald, I believe, for most of that race. So, but you managed to get onto the podium. So pleased with that?
I am pleased with that. I have no ability to manage tyres whatsoever. So it becomes quite difficult toward the end. I spent a lot of time just worrying about the guy behind, thinking, have I still got the gap?
Yeah.
But that comes with practice, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of the drivers are talking about the tyres, and some feeling that in the middle of the race they thought their tyres were really bad, and then actually they seemed to come back a bit towards the end, or relative to the drivers around them, they weren't that bad. So you seemed to manage it quite well. I mean, your pace was quite consistent throughout the whole race, I think.
Last few laps started to drop away. I was a bit concerned, but look, it's great fun. It's great fun doing it. am I happy with third? Of course I am. It's my second race. And it's just a case of enjoying it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tremendously exciting race to watch and commentate on. Particularly the battle between sort of the group of 4 of you was amazingly exciting. So we're hoping for more in the second race.
I just needed to keep up. I made one mistake down at the final chicane, and it cost me 2 places. Let's see what I can do from pole this time. My start wasn't great, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so starting from pole for this one. So I guess just try and get a good start and try and get into your rhythm quickly and hopefully lead from the front, win from the front.
It sounds incredibly easy. Thanks very much.
Simple as that. Best of luck.
Thank you.
So, welcome back to Donington Park for race 2 of the day on the 2-mile national circuit. We've got a slightly different grid order for this race. There were 2 qualifying sessions, so the drivers are just heading off on their warm-up lap now. And for this one, we've got the driver finished 3rd in race 1 today. Christian Kelly will start from pole position. Alongside him will be Edward Sibbald, who had a bit of a rough time in the first race and actually got a drive-through penalty, so he's going to be looking to try and make amends. Luke Bennett, the star of race 1, will start 3rd. 4th will be our race 1 winner, John Curry. In 5th place, Colin Talbot, quite a good position there for Colin. Chris Wilson will start 6th from this one. He was the pole sitter in race 1. Michael Boulding will start 7th. Ben Brown, our championship leader, is only 8th again, so he really seems to be struggling a little bit in these wet conditions. Sean King is going to start 9th. We've got our newcomer, Derek Rudenberg, will start 10th, who had quite a strong debut in race 1. Rob Soughton will start 11th. Andy Malpas is 12th. John Walker is 13th. And another newcomer to the series today, Serena Straker, will start in 14th place. And there we can see that's Serena there in the pink car, just going through Schwanz now up into McLean's on their warm-up lap. So alongside me again, Anthony Jordan.
Hello, hello.
Looking forward to this one?
Oh, yeah, it should be a good one. Now, the main things that I want to take into account for this one. Now, is Bennett going to learn from his mistake from race 1, get a better start on this one? Because, of course, he dropped so many positions on that.
Yeah, he went down to about 7th place at one point.
He did, yeah, all from that start. So, Bennett, hopefully he's going to learn from that, get a good start. Now, as well, John Curry started 4th in the last one, starting 4th in this one as well. Again, is he going to try and get to the front as quickly as he possibly can and take another race win, which would be great for him? But of course, he's in that middle of the pack. It's so risky being there, especially in this, with all this spray as well.
You definitely need a bit of luck, I think, to get through cleanly. But we did see a lot of very close racing in the first race, and the vast majority of it was really clean. We didn't see too many incidents, so hoping for more of the same in this one.
Well, yeah, hopefully that. So the two Camsport cars not near each other this time. They're quite separated. So Colin Talbot there up in
fifth
position. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Sean King is ninth. So yeah, a bit of a gap between them this time. Great qualifying for Colin Talbot there. So we are lined up, just the last couple of cars just getting into their grid positions at the back. We should get the green flag, and then we should have lights out in just a few seconds for race 2 here at Donington Park. The revs are rising, we can hear, and they are away for race 2. And it looks like a very good start by Michael Boulding. He's straight past up into 4th place immediately as they head down to Redgate for the first time.
Oh, 3 wide into Redgate there. Very risky, but managing to all get through. And again, Wilson on the inside of that. Again, probably the worst place to be. He was in the middle of 2 cars, so definitely not ideal, but they all get through. Yeah,
so Christian Kelly has maintained his pole position and it has the lead from Sibbald, who is second. So the front 4 all maintain their positions. Bennett third, Curry fourth. Boulding has made up a couple of spots into 5th. And then we've got Colin Talbot, Chris Wilson, Ben Brown and Sean King with Derek Rudenberg in 10th.
Yeah, Boulding with probably the best start of the race there, managing to gain 2 positions from Talbot and Wilson. But again, cracking start. Bennett managing to hold on to 3rd place. A good start. And there's looks like
Curry.
Curry, yeah, going very wide there. The back completely stepped out. And it looks like he's managed to keep it on the track, though.
Wow, he did well to hold that. He was completely sideways going into McLean's.
That was definitely not ideal. I'm sure if you got an onboard shot there and you could see the lock he put on the steering wheel, that would be quite a good angle to see, I think.
That did look spectacular. So, yeah, he did really well there. So, heading down the back straight for the first time into the chicane. That's Ben Brown in the Anxiety UK liveried car, just in front of Sean King. And then you've got Chris Wilson in the sort of plain blue car there, running in 7th place. Derek Rudenberg there in the bright green, just behind. So, again, a very clean first lap overall. That moment for Curry was the only real incident, and the drivers just trying to get into this 17-lap race and just find their rhythm.
Well, yeah, of course. So these guys roughly stayed in the same positions, of course, apart from Boulding. But yeah, no, it was a cracking start to the race. And these guys all just, I think, learning from their mistakes of race 1. You know, we rushed it too much. You know, the tyres gone off and all sorts. So, you know, these guys really learning from that mistake, and it is showing. But Wilson, with a great exit out of the old hairpin, he's right on the back of Talbot now. Yeah, so Wilson all over the back of Talbot as they head through Swans Curve up into McLean's on lap 2. And there's Ben Brown, and Talbot's taken quite a defensive line in there, so I think he's probably holding this group up a little bit. Wilson's cut back underneath to get the inside into Coppice, and Ben Brown alongside Sean King. Yeah, it looks like they've both managed to get that move done there, so they were cracking stuff from those two. Yeah, so Wilson and Brown both picking up a spot there, and now we've got Ben Brown all over the back of Colin Talbot. Here's a replay of John Curry, I think, on the first lap. So this is the moment he had into Coppice, loses it on the brakes. Oh, a big twitchy moment there, a huge amount of opposite lock, just to try to keep it going, completely misses the apex by miles. But that would have really killed his front tyres trying to keep that on track. Yeah, brilliantly well held though. Great piece of car control. That could have easily gone straight into the fence. So here we've got Ben Brown looking up the inside of Colin Talbot into Redgate. Trying to outbrake Collins to see if he can get that inside. Not quite. Talbot closes the door, not quite close enough. And then Sean King there lurking behind Ben Brown. So Ben Brown, our championship leader, he is struggling today in these conditions, but he's looking to put up a bit of a fight. He is indeed. So, yeah, still flying through again. Talbot dropping 2 positions now. He's back down in 7th position. Fastest man on circuit is Bennett. He's got 1:22.842. Fastest man on circuit at the moment. So in the corner, your bottom right corner of the screen, you can see an onboard with Edward Sibbald, who's chasing Christian Kelly, our race leader at the moment. So he's just there, watching, waiting, just seeing if he can maybe force Kelly into a mistake. Big thing I've noticed in this one is Curry still in 4th position. Of course, we are only on lap 3, but yeah, he's not managed to gain as much time as he did in the first one. And there's Sean King reinventing the track limits again. But yeah, these guys still flying around at the moment.
Yeah, so Curry, not making quite the impression he did in the first race, but I think that's maybe the quality of driving in front of him is improving. Kelly certainly has been very consistent so far. We've got, you can see the lap times at the moment. Bennett's done the fastest lap of the race so far. And Kelly and Sybil both doing pretty good lap times as well. So it's looking quite evenly matched at the front.
Yeah, so this is John Curry, I think, or is this, no, this is further back still.
So that's Colin Talbot in the Cam Sport Fire car, just in front of Ben Brown.
Screen that
on the small screen, we're on board with Sibbald, who's chasing Kelly, and he had a little bit of a look into Redgate there. So he's maybe feeling that he's got a little bit more pace. Maybe he can make a move, and he's looking to recover after that sort of slightly disappointing race one for him.
Well, yeah, you would have thought so. And, of course, flying through there, these guys real nose to tail. And it looks like Sibyl's got the better exit there. And it looks like all that momentum that he's gained. Is he going to potentially send a move down the inside here into Copies? And then Kelly goes so defensive. Now, is he going to try and get the cutback? Slight bit of contact, I think. But they've all managed to get through. So close between these top two. Yeah,
Kelly really defensive. It cost him a bit of momentum as they head up to Coppice. But he's braked very late going in there. Sybil slightly out of control. He was really fast
as well. Where's Bennett in this situation? Is Bennett just behind Sybil?
Yeah, it could have been contact. It looked like he lost the back of the car slightly.
I think it was. I think Bennett was. Yeah, look, they're side by side into the hairpin. There we go. It's Bennett down the inside. Bennett later on the brakes. Is he going to make the apex? Oh, he makes the first, doesn't make the second, and now he's going to struggle. He's got run wide, and he's lost 2, maybe 3 positions now. Has Bennett? Yes, he has.
Yeah, so really cost him that hitting that big tall sausage curb there, and he's lost 3 places when he was trying to just gain 1.
There we go. So massive disaster there for Bennett, and goes back down the order into 5th position. And Boulding is in 3rd position at the moment, 4 places up.
Yeah, so brilliantly close racing once again in this Clio Championship. And here we've got the group just behind this sort of pack, and this is Colin Talbot, Ben Brown, and Sean King still battling away.
Yeah, these guys always give us some close racing back here. Of course, Colin, we know, very good defensive driver. Here's a replay. Now, this is the Bennett, Sybil, and Kelly incident now. So Bennett looks to the inside of Sybil there, gets almost halfway alongside. Sybil doesn't see, holds him off, but now Bennett still got it side by side. They managed to keep it there. Now, this is where the mistake happens. And it's something that I said that would happen at the beginning of the day. People outbraking themselves into this chicane. Here we go, on the brakes, so much later, makes the first apex, but just can't stop the car. Another panic brake there, as you could see, clouts that apex, and then loses 3 positions with 1 5. So,
yeah, straight back down into 5th place. So he's got a bit of regrouping to do, Bennett, but as we saw in the first race, he's certainly more than capable of doing that. So they've got a bit of a gap. So this front group, here's Boulding running 3rd, Curry 4th, then Bennett, and Wilson is just on the back of this group. So yeah, Boulding doing quite well. He's under a lot of pressure at the moment from John Curry, and Luke Bennett is still there lurking. Curry's very wide coming out of Redgate. Might have lost a bit of momentum down Craner curves on this lap. Chris Wilson there in the blue car, just sort of buzzing around, looking to take advantage of any mistakes. Curry here really looking for a way through past Boulding. He's looking to try and get past on the inside.
Yeah, you can see, especially from qualifying as well, that John Curry was significantly faster than Michael Boulding, of course, nearly a second faster. So he's going to be wanting to look for a gap here as soon as possible. And now he's got Bennett making a move down the inside. Such a late lunge. Again, is he going to try and go for 2 cars in 1 corner? And I think he's managed to do it again. So Bennett with quite a forceful move, I would say. There was a bit of contact, but managing to get those 2 positions again in 2 corners. Cracking stuff. And then here comes Curry and here comes Wilson. And Boulding's been left out to dry.
Unbelievably exciting and close racing here. They were 3 wide at one point there, but now we've got Bennett, Curry and Boulding and Wilson all absolutely together as they come down to the chicane.
So close. It looked like Curry was going to try and return the favour there. And then again, Boulding really struggling, trying to make that second apex. Doesn't do it and falls back. And now he's all those positions he gained, he's instantly lost it.
Yeah, that's what happens in this championship, it seems. So Wilson has got past. He's into 5th place. Bennett once again at the head of this group, just in front of Curry.
Yeah, now this is playing into the hands of Bennett now. So he's still holding, he qualified 3rd, so he's still holding his same position. But it looks like he's got a bad exit out of Redgate. John Curry's all over the back of him. So this is third and fourth place. And then again, it just looks like Curry's trying to find anywhere he can get past, but there is nowhere to get past in this section of the track. It is pretty much single file, really, isn't it?
Bennett is very strong, it seems, out on this section of the track, through Schwanzkirch up into McLean's and Coppice. He seems to be able to carry a huge amount of speed. It's where he's done a lot of his great overtakes today.
Yes, yeah, of
so
course.
he'll be thinking, I can pull away through this section.
Well, yeah, you would have thought so. It looks like Curry has managed to hold on to it, and he's not dropped back. So are we going to see again a potential move here? And did that look like Sibbald and Kelly battling for position there as well? No, it wasn't. So I thought they were much closer than that, but no, they're a bit further behind. So we're on board now on your smaller screen with John Curry, and he pulls out the slipstream on Bennett. Bennett goes defensive. Now Curry switches back to the outside, onto the brakes. Can't quite do it this time. Great defensive driving from Bennett. Yeah,
brilliant. Curry's really trying everything he can. He's sort of swarming around the back of Bennett's car, just trying to maybe put him off, just try and force him into a slight error so that allow him to get past. So, and Chris Wilson is still there in 5th place. Michael Balding is 6th. And out front, the gap between Kelly and Sibbald might be coming down slightly, I think.
Yeah, potentially so. We'll try and keep an eye on the deltas for you. You can see, they are gaining. The gaps aren't gaining as quickly as we'd like to see. But we are on lap 8 at the moment, and these guys still providing some seriously close racing.
So Bennett's managed to get a sort of gap of about 4 car lengths, which in this race is actually quite a lot.
Well, yeah, of course. So these guys still flying around. But again, with these tricky conditions, it shows. Here's a replay. Talk us through what you can see.
So here we've got Rudenberg and Soughton, I believe, fighting over sort of 10th place at the moment into Redgate. Soughton on the inside of Rudenberg in the green car. Rudenberg didn't really leave him much space. Bit of contact, but they've both got out of the corner and got away with it.
Yeah, that was very lucky that they managed to away with that.
Still side by side.
Yeah, definitely not ideal piece of driving there from Rudenberg, but of course new to the season, new to the championship, of course. And
yeah, he's had a fairly strong performance so far for his debut.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, lots of interesting battles going on all the way through the field.
Yeah, this is your first place battle. This is Kelly and Sibbald. Quite a big gap though.
Yeah, so it looks like Kelly's been able to be pretty consistent. He's managing to maintain that gap to Sibbald. It's maybe closing slightly, but he's just managing his tyres, just lap 9 of 17. Fastest lap we've got by Luke Bennett. He's done a 122.8. So he's improving his lap times even at this stage of the race.
Well, yeah, and of course he's at the front of that pack, and you can see it's broken away. So, and he's still got plenty of time. 8 laps to go, and I reckon we're going to see Bennett, Sibbald and Kelly fighting for that first place position.
It could be a replay of round 1. We'd love to see that after the excitement of race 1. If they can all close up together. So, yeah, just spreading out a little bit at the moment. So there, we're looking at Sibbald in the blue and pink, sort of very striking livery, and he's got on that car. It does look like he's just catching Kelly, I think. And then Bennett, you can see on the grass coming out of McLean's there. So he's pushing really hard to try and get with to catch up to this pairing at the front.
Yeah, just 8 tenths there. He's just behind. Not even 8 tenths. I think 8 thousandths just behind. They look physically quite far away, but of course at the speed that they're going, they are still very close in terms of lap time. So again, such a close gap. We'll just see as they cross the line what the new gap would be. But I feel like he is gaining on him.
Yeah, I think he is a little bit. And as you say, even a slight mistake in these cars, a bit of loss of momentum, and you're going to lose a place. So Kelly's got to keep it clean. He's got to be consistent if he wants to stay in front and try and win this race too.
Sibbald on that last lap was 4 tenths faster than Kelly alone. Kelly's last time 123.670, Sibbald 123.263. So there you go, about 4 tenths faster that lap alone that he's taken out of Kelly. Yeah,
so this is going to be very interesting to see if Sibbald can keep this up. Has he just maybe looked after his tyres better? Has he just got himself into a good rhythm? Here we've got a super slow-mo replay of Bennett and Wilson. And there's John Curry running in 5th place.
Looks like they're going through the old hairpin here. This cracking shot of how fast that they're going through there. But again, so much spray, and just it needs to be pinpoint accuracy through that corner in these conditions.
Absolutely. So here back at the front, Kelly, Sibbald. Sibbald getting ever closer, I think. Bennett there just in the background setting really quick lap times. and he looks like he's gaining as well. So it does look like this race is coming back together as we get towards the closing stages.
Oh, this is going to be interesting, I feel, when it gets to it. So, yeah, Bennett really is flying through. He's got purple sectors all over. I don't think he's going to set a new personal best this time. He's had a bit of a slow last one here. But we'll see the lap time difference between Kelly and Sibbald as they cross the line. Here they go. As they cross the line now, new times come in. 23.4 from Kelly, 23 dead from Sibbald. So again, Sibbald, another 4 tenths. And you can physically see the gap now. He's right behind him. He is on him now. This is hotting up. Yeah, so 4 tenths a lap seems to be the gap time difference at the moment. And Kelly's going to have to be doing some defending very soon. No, it really is. And of course, lap 11, still plenty of laps to go. Bennett there still trying to hold on to it. Bennett's last lap, 1:22.9. So, yeah, Bennett's still catching these two. And of course, when they start battling as well, Bennett's going to be right on it. So, yeah, this is going to heat up very quickly. Yeah, definitely. It's going to be really good for those guys. And particularly, shout out for Chris Wilson, who, after a slightly chaotic race one, is done quite well. He's made 2 places up. He's now in 4th place and running quite consistently. And he'll be hoping that these front guys start battling, because there you can see him in the blue car just coming out of McLean's. Driven a good race so far, and John Curry, our race winner, is still down in 5th, so he hasn't really made any progress in this race. Yeah, massive shame from John Curry. Such a dominated race one, but yeah, really struggling this one, losing a position. Yeah, down in 5th position, Wilson up 2. But yeah, so this should be interesting. So here comes Sibbald into the chicane. He's just getting to that range now where he's maybe thinking about having a look, just moving around in the mirrors, trying to see if he can put Kelly off a bit. Yeah, Kelly now will be under massive pressure to try and hold on to this position. Of course, as we cross the line, 12 laps there, and there's a move down the inside, but well defended by Kelly. But does he slightly outbrake himself? No, they don't. They stay in position. But that was a very, I think, sharp move to just say, I'm here, I'm coming, I'm quicker than you. He very much reacted to Sibbald's move to the inside. As soon as he saw that, he moved to cover the inside. So he knows he's there, and he's definitely going to defend very hard this first position. Yeah, of course he will. But of course, you don't want to defend too hard. If Sibbald makes a move, you know, you can't compromise yourself, because again, this could allow Bennett to catch up, and Kelly could lose 2 positions here potentially if he lets Sibbald pass. Yeah, I think you can see that Bennett is gaining on these two now. I think we've now got to the stage where Kelly is holding Sibbald up a little bit, and Bennett is closing in pretty quick. Yeah, again, previous lap times as well. Kelly's was 23.6, Sibbald 23.3, Bennett 22.8. So again, Bennett is still flying. He was just 8 thousandths of a second off the fastest lap of the race on that last lap. So that just shows how consistent he is. And look at that physical gap now. He is right on them. Yep, Bennett is right there. He is going to get involved, I think, before the end of this race. So let's see. Here we got Kelly, Sibbald and Bennett through the chicane. This is where Sibbald had a look last lap into Redgate. He looked for the inside. Kelly's already looks like he's going to try and go very defensive. I can already see what's going to happen. Kelly's going to go defensive. Sibbald's going to switch it to the outside now, and he's going to go for the cutback. Here it comes. So as they go into the corner, but Kelly is so slow, but Sibbald's going to try and hold that inside line. He's poking his nose down the inside now. Now they're side by side down into Craners, and this is where it could all go wrong for Sibbald. He's been forced onto the grass by Kelly. Kelly forces his way back onto the track, but they're still side by side rubbing bumpers, and as they go down, he forces him out wide again. He's got onto the grass, and that is Sibbald on the grass. Can he stop it for the old hairpin? He can. Oh, blimey. Bit of contact. Wow, that was an absolutely thrilling move, and Bennett has taken advantage and got past Kelly as well. So, yeah, Sibbald set that up and performed a great move all the way down the Craner curves. He did go into the grass a little bit, but here we got Bennett's going for the lead now. He's actually got past Kelly, he's into 2nd place, and now he's challenging for the lead. So Sibbald's lead could only last a few corners. Yeah, so Bennett again, carbon copy is what we saw in the last time, managing to get a couple of positions in just a couple of corners. And again, Bennett down the inside. He's got that inside line, and that is a move done. Now again, is Sibbald going to try and make a lunge like he did last time, round turn 1 into Craners on Bennett? But of course, as we've seen by the lap times, Bennett is so much faster. Yeah, I mean, another brilliant drive so far by Bennett. As soon as these guys in front of him started battling, he's taken advantage, and another great clean move to pass Sibbald and take the lead. So Sibbald now fighting back hard, trying to get alongside the start-finish straight as they come down into Redgate. For start of lap 14, he's having a look up the inside, he's on the wet side. Squirreling under braking is Sibbald and Bennett. Sibbald managing to hold that inside line, and Bennett not letting him have it. He runs out wide, almost kept it side by side, but Sibbald again, great move down the inside of Redgate.
Yeah, and that's cost Bennett a bit of the momentum on the exit, and he's going to be under pressure from Kelly in third. And then you've got Chris Wilson there in fourth, who's also about to join this battle.
Yeah, Wilson really taking advantage of this battle. Again, big shame to Kelly leading the race, dropping 2 positions now. But now we've got a pack of 4. Lap 14, this is really going to start to concertina up again, because we know that Bennett is faster than Sibbald. And but we say that Bennett's last lap. Here's the replay. Talk us through it.
Yeah, so here was Sibbald alongside Kelly. He gets onto the grass down Craners, and you think he can't stop for the old hairpin. There's a little bit of contact, and Kelly just runs a bit wide, but Sibbald did really well to actually hold the car, not leave the track completely, and also not completely wipe out Kelly going down into the old hairpin there. And then Bennett, who'd passed Kelly as a result, gets a tremendous run, as he has done all day, up into Coppice, gets the inside and takes the lead. And now we're back live.
Yeah, back live, and Bennett back down the inside of Sibbald through the chicane, back onto the start-finish straight. They're on lap 14. They'll cross the line to start lap 15. Bennett still leading as they cross the line, but it is side by side as they cross the line there. That would have been a photo finish if it was that time round. But Sibbald's now back in the lead as they go through. Bennett holding that inside line, though. Bennett with the ideal racing line.
Sibbald might try to get a bit of a cutback, but it looks to me like he's run slightly wide. And Chris Wilson has passed Kelly and is now running third. So I don't know if we saw it. Kelly made a mistake somewhere, but Wilson up into third.
Yeah, so cracking stuff from both Luke Bennett and Christian Kelly there.
I think this is how Wilson got past Kelly. So out of Coppice onto the back straight. Kelly didn't really make a mistake, but Wilson got a really good exit from Coppice and got alongside. And now it looks like maybe Kelly's tyres are struggling. I don't know that.
Yeah, potentially, and of course it can happen over a long race. You know, these tyres in these conditions can really overheat, especially if the track starts to dry out, to which it is doing. Of course, you can really lose momentum, and Sibbald is absolutely nowhere now. He's under pressure from Wilson. I think
Wilson's looked after his tyres really well, because again he's pulling the same move he pulled last lap on Kelly. He's now pulling the same on Sibbald.
Well, exactly that, and of course we've seen it through the race that Wilson was really cautious and slow at the start, and it does look like he's looked after his tyres and manages to make that move done purely like Sibbald was standing still. So I think Sibbald has really killed his tyres.
Another lovely clean move by Chris Wilson there into the chicane, just got alongside, outbraked him, neat and tidy. He's going to just have to defend into Redgate though. Sibbald's trying the outside line. Don't think he's going to do it, but is he going to try and cut back underneath to get a run down the Craner curves?
I don't think he'll be able to do it. I mean, if his tyres have gone, it's just going to understeer straight off the track, and that's what you just saw there. So I think we're only going to see Sibbald go backwards now, which is a massive shame.
Yeah, so lap 16 of 17, this is the time where if the drivers have run out of tyres, they're just going to be really struggling to get to the finish of this race. And I think Sibbald and Kelly particularly seem to be suffering of the front group.
Well, yeah, definitely. But again, shout out to Bennett there. Luke Bennett up in first position. He's gained 2 positions again, absolutely flying through, managing to manage his tyres, and again just holding it there. And there's Sibbald again trying to take any chance he can on Wilson to try and get that second position. Now, in terms of championship, Sibbald is second in the championship with 32 points, and Wilson is, Wilson didn't take part in the Clio's the first round.
No, he did the touring cars, but he didn't. This is his first race is in the Clio Championship, and he's had a great race here in race 2.
Yeah, close battle further down the order. It's Brown and Talbot. They're having a good little battle further down, I believe. There was a close battle there. Here it is Michael Boulding, though, and Ben Brown. So as they're going into the final chicane, this is a close-up battle. Now, both Boulding and Brown have gained a position from this. They both qualified 7th and 8th, respectively, as Boulding goes quite wide out of the hairpin, and that can really struggle your momentum as you get into the start-finish rate. And is Ben Brown going to capitalise on that?
Yeah, Ben Brown coming now down into Redgate. He's not quite close enough to make a move, but he would just be looking to try and get a good exit out of Redgate to see if he can get alongside perhaps Boulding or pull some sort of move down to the old hairpin. We're on lap 17 now.
Yeah, so we are on final lap time, and Bennett still leading the way from Wilson, from Sibbald, from Kelly, from Curry, and then this is the Boulding and Brown battle that we're looking at the moment. So we'll try and go back to your race leaders because they will be coming to the start-finish line very shortly.
Yes, in the corner picture there, you can see Luke Bennett out on his own. He's made 2 places up from his starting position. He's driven a really good race again, pulled off some really great overtakes, clean overtakes to take the lead. He's coming down now into the chicane for the final time, and Luke Bennett is going to win the second Clio race of the day here at Donington Park with a tremendous drive, and that will really do his championship a power of good. And in the main screen, we've got Ben Brown, who's alongside Michael Balding as they come down to the chicane for the last time.
Yeah, so really close between these two. Ben Brown down the inside, managing to make the move done, but has he outbraked himself? He has, but so has Michael Balding as he jumps the gravel trap. He is going to have to concede the position there. It was a move, but just wasn't legal. You know, he missed the corner. If he kept his foot in there, I think race control would have been on his case. So
very fair driving by Ben Brown there. He knew that was probably not on, and he just allowed Balding to retake the place. So yeah, great sportsman-like driving up and down the field actually with great standard today. So Bennett wins it. Wilson has finished second. Great drive for him. Sibbald has improved on his race 1 position, and he came third. Kelly was fourth. Curry stuck down in fifth in race 2 from his starting position of fourth. Balding, as we saw there, hung on for sixth. Ben Brown was seventh. Derek Rudenberg finished eighth. So pretty good debut today for him in his first 2 races in the championship. Colin Talbot ninth, and Sean King came home in 10th place. So another really exciting race there. We'll obviously try and grab a word with our first 3 drivers just to see what they made of that one. So we'll be back shortly. So we're going to have a quick interview with quick chat with the top 3 drivers in that second race. So here I have with me into the little commentary booth here. Take a seat, Luke Bennett, our race 2 winner. So after your superb drive in the first race today, we were expecting you were going to do well in that one, and it seemed that as the race went on, you just got faster and faster and stronger, and again pulled off some really great moves to take the win. So how was it for you?
Well, I obviously had a lot better start than the first race, not going out wide. I just thought, I was a bit behind second, and second was goes to first, so I was just waiting to make a move on them. So I was waiting until they were battling, and just waited till they were battling so I could make a move.
Yeah, and it looked like once you'd got past into the lead, you were able to pull away quite consistently, and in the end built quite a nice cushion before the end of the race.
Yeah, I found my tyres a lot better at the end of the race for some reason again. But once I'd got past, I was just gone.
Yeah, so that's obviously going to do you really improve your championship position, which will be calculated after this race. So do you think you can continue this form rest of the season?
I hope so. Yeah, I really hope so.
Yes, I mean, we've really enjoyed your some of your overtakes today to commentate on. It was really some really exciting, clean moves, and we hope that you continue to provide entertainment like that for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
So good luck. So we'll try and get our second place driver, Chris Wilson, who finished second in that race from a starting position of sixth on the grid. So a real kind of impressive drive through the field for Chris. So let's check your mics on. Yeah. Yeah. How was it from your perspective? It looked like you had real good pace towards the end of the race, particularly.
Yeah. Race one was a learning curve tyre-wise. Pretty much everyone was in agreement the tyres were shot at the end of the race. I didn't check mine till I'd already crossed the line, but yeah, I seemed to manage them a bit better, and a couple of the guys that had been pushing, they'd just worn a bit too hard and gave me a chance to catch up.
Yeah, so you could see towards the end of the race there, you pulled off two great moves into the chicane on consecutive laps. So both very clean moves. So were you able just to control the car on the brakes? Was it sort of a comfortable move, or is the secret really getting out onto that back straight better than the guy in front?
Yeah, it's predominantly getting the drive onto the back straight. Because I was braking early and taking a tighter line, I just had a quicker exit out the corner and down the straight. So I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't have attempted the moves if I wasn't door-to-door with them, because it would have just been carnage. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to pull them both off. I was waiting for an undercut both times, but yeah, worked out. So
are you going to be doing the Clio Championship for the rest of the season, do you think? I know you were doing the touring cars as well. This is the first time we've seen you in the Clios, but you've had a pretty successful day in the Clios.
I'd like to think a lot of that's down to the rain. I do seem to prefer it when it's wet. I'll probably will do a couple more rounds. I can't do the rest of the calendar this year, but I'll definitely give Thruxton a go, because it's a track I tend to go well at. So
yeah, okay. Well, we look forward to seeing you at Thruxton, and yeah, best of luck for that, and best of luck for the touring cars later on.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Cheers. That's good. So third place in race 2 was Edward Sibbald, who drove a great race, recovering from his slightly unfortunate incident in race 1. So, Edward, a good performance in race 2. Another very exciting race, lots of action going on.
Yeah.
How was it from your point of view?
Race 2 was a difficult second half. My tyres, I was speaking to Bennett next to me. By the time he finished, his tyres were on twice as much percentage as I had.
Yes.
So I was just struggling.
It looked particularly like you and Kelly both hit a tyre problem towards the end. You both seemed to be struggling compared to the cars around you.
I think we were both, I was pushing him, so we were kind of pushing each other for the first 7-8 laps.
Yeah.
And that was it. I think once we'd started doing that, there was no real going back. So we just had to keep pushing and seeing what happened. But no, it's all right. I'm happy with third after the first race was a bit of a disappointment. My mistake on the first one. So
I think, you've been running near the front in all the races so far this season, and you are near the front of the championship. So at least you seem to be showing quite good consistency.
Yeah.
And try and take that on for the rest of the year, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah. That's my aim. Is to obviously I've never done wet before, so that's a different experience.
Yeah, I think it jumbled the order up a little bit, the fact it was wet.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thruxton next. Are you looking forward to that?
Love Thruxton. Can't wait. Yeah, should be a great race. Hopefully dry.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully dry.
I'll let you go and go to the podium, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. So we will now go to the podium, I believe, shortly after a short break, where will be the presentation for the top 3 drivers after the 2 Clio races today.
Okay, thank you to our viewers online for watching a very enjoyable 2 Clio Cup car races in the rain at Donington. Tricky and slippery conditions, but I think you'll agree it made the racing extremely exciting with some amazing overtakes and great battling throughout. Now we go straight to our top 3, and in 3rd position, I want a big round of applause for all of the drivers in Simply Race for Chris Wilson, please. So, and in 2nd position, once again, big round of applause, please, for John Curry. So, John, if you want to see Anthony first and make your way towards Mark. And our event winner in just his 2nd appearance in the SRBC, and a phenomenal overtake in race number 1, and amazing battling in race number 2. I want the roof, please, for Luke Bennett. Big round of applause for Luke. Well done, mate. Fantastic. And now just a big round of applause once again for our top 3. Thank you very much. Mike's just going to take a photo. So thank you very much for watching the Clio Cup cars. We continue very shortly with the touring cars. So keep on watching at home and we'll get that underway very shortly.